Okay, so good day everyone. So for today, we're looking into the discussions of e-governance for public delivery no, in our country. So the e-governance framework for public service delivery is a comprehensive structure that leverages digital technologies to enhance the efficiency, accessibility, and transparency of government services. These frameworks no, aim to transform traditional public service delivery mechanism by integrating information and communication technologies into government processes, thereby facilitating seamless interaction between citizen and the government. So the framework typically includes several key components, no? Of course, establishment of an online platforms and portals that serve as centralized hub, no, of accessing government services and information. And these platforms enable citizens to conveniently access a wide range of services, such as applying for permits, as what we mentioned earlier, licenses or benefits, submitting documents, no, and uh, making payments all from the comfort of their homes or offices. Another vital element of the e-governance framework is the automation of government process through the use of digital system and workflows. So by digitizing and streamlining administrative procedures, government can significantly reduce processing time, minimize bureaucratic hurdles, and enhance the overall efficiency of service delivery. And this automation extend to various areas, including document management, approval, notifications, and tracking of service requests. And to give us more details about the topic, let us all welcome our presenter this afternoon. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Doc. Good afternoon, classmates. So my report is all about the Module 5, e-governance for public service delivery. So the intended learning outcomes of my topic first is to gain a clear understanding of the principles, practices, and advantages of e-governance. Second is to understand how e-governance enables the digital transformation of government services. The third is to explore the different channels and platforms to the government services. So first is the digital platforms for delivering government services. So as what uh, uh, Doc Melo mentioned and other reporters, this is digital platforms are the main purpose of the government is for the uh, citizen centric, or for it's all for the citizens of this republic. So first is for the digital platforms is the government websites. So we all know that all government websites, all government national government agencies, even local government agencies have their own websites. So these websites are run by the government. It provides a centralized point of access to a wide variety of informations and services offered by the government. So lahat ng government agencies, they have their government websites like the SWD, the Philippine Statistics Authority, the BIR, DOH, and other national government agencies. Even the LGUs have their government websites. And then second is for the digital platforms, the mobile applications. So this mobile applications access the government's let the citizens access the government service and information via mobile apps on their smartphones and tablets. So it's time saving and handy options. So most of the government national agencies have their mobile applications. The latest one that the government is uh, the latest is the eGov PH. So this is applications in iPhones and in also in Google App. So this eGov PH, it's also one of the online portals of the government. So parang isang app siya, nandoon na lahat yung mga government services. This is at present nasa testing stage pa siya, and if you have time sa mga baka meron na nakatry for this eGov PH. So this is one of the mobile applications of the government. The other digital platforms is the online portals. So we have this all-encompassing platforms that bring together a variety of departments and services provided by the government in a single location. So these online portals let the citizens access to a wide variety of services, may monitor their interactions with the government, and will receive individual recommendations and notifications. So you will access the online portals of the government. So kung mag-access ka in different online portals like other reporters uh, earlier, like sa PhilHealth. So they have their online portals for PhilHealth. So you can access, sign up ka for they will collect their your personal informations, and then uh, the one of the features of the PhilHealth online portals is you can print your MDR or the members data form. So no need to go to the PhilHealth, but you can print out kung kailangan mo or may emergencies. So this is one of the online portals, and there's so much more for other government services like the NBI, the LTO. They have their online portals, and like also the Land Bank, they have their I-Access, and also the Pag-ibig. So lahat na nung almost lahat na, but karamihan is in the testing stage, and they are improving their online portals. So other digital platforms for delivering government service is the electronic payment gateways. So it's not new to us, this electronic payment. So this is the online portals for all the uh, encompassing platforms that bring together in one spot and range different department and services offered by the government. So this electronic payment will be accessed via internet, and all citizens may monitor their interactions with the government, have their access to wide variety of services, and receive personalized recommendations and notifications. So this online electronic payment, like for example, kung you will get your BIR uh, NBI clearance. So pag access mo sa NBI portals, they have their electronic payment like they offered 7-Eleven payment, they have GCash, they also have Bayad Center, Imluwilier, and other payment gateways or the electronic payment gateways. So next is the enhancing citizens engagement. So uh, one of the target of the government is to enhance the citizens engagement. So first is under the enhancing citizens engagement is the social media platforms, the disseminations of informations, the engagement of individuals. So mostly ng mga government, national agencies and local agencies, they have their social media platforms. So ang pinaka uh, gamit na one of the social media is the Facebook. So lahat ng almost all ng government agencies, they have their social media, they disseminate the informations, engagement of individuals, and other provisions of customers assistance and accomplished by the government entities. So mapapansin mo is, and other social media platforms the government are sponsored. They are sponsored because they want to promote their uh, their government agencies sa lahat ng citizenry, na para ma-aware sila that their agencies are offering like dissemination of information, government services, and this channel of social media make it possible to have conversations in real time and facilitate the rapid dissemination of announcements and updates. So this social media also is being used by most of the local government units or LGUs. So halos lahat ng mga syudad, munisipalidad, they are using these social media platforms, and even all the national government agencies. And under the enhancing citizens engagement is the chatbots and virtual assistants. So this is one of the best good features of other national government agencies. So medyo hindi pa lahat are using these virtual assistants or chatbots. Maybe uh, may nakatry na dito. These chatbots and virtual assistants are example of software applications driven by AI or the artificial intelligence that may give the citizens with automatic solutions. Like for example, if you will access the Land Bank website, so may lalabas na parang maliit sa at the left corner, parang may lalabas na yung ito yung tinatawag na virtual assistant or the chatbots, yung parang si anong pangalan sa Land Bank, Lilia or and other government agency, they have their they have their virtual assistants or chatbots. So these chatbots will give automatic solutions to your questions. So it is being programmed by the programmer, and kung ano yung FAQs mo or mostly frequently asked questions, so uh, sasagot yung chatbots. So the improved customer service, di na kailangan nung kailangan mo tumawag sa kanilang agency, but they have their chatbots or virtual assistants. So these uh, chatbots improve the customer service of the government agency. So other enhancing citizens engagement is the online consultation and public feedback platforms. So these platforms for e-governance typically features functionalities or the public consultations and collections of feedback, as what we have was discussed by the previous reporter. So this they have their the government offers this feedback mechanism based on the citizens charters of the different government agencies. So this feedback will uh, discuss all on the various policies, initiatives, and citizens are given the opportunity to engage in decision-making process, the use of online polls, discussion forums, and public comments areas. So in different government agencies' websites or online portals, they have these online consultations and public feedback platform. And next is the leveraging technology for efficiency. So part of the leveraging technology for efficiency is the open data platform. So this open data platform gives citizens access to the data sets maintained by their respective governments uh, for them to examine the data and put it to use in the variety of contexts. So we have our this open data. So any citizens, it be used for the research, for educational purposes, and other legal purposes. These open data platforms also increase the transparency and bolsters the decision making that is data driven. So ito na yung puso ngayon, and we are in the uh, digitalization era. So this is all about the data driven and the open data platforms. So the other leveraging technology is the mobile SMS services. So this use of the text messages so allows for the dissemination of vital informations and warning to the populations, particularly in the event of emergency or national disaster, like what Ma'am Itzi Consolacion discuss on the NTC advisory and the NDRMC text messages during the calamities, during earthquakes or other natural calamities. So uh, this is the part of the text messaging that will provide the citizens with timely instructions and informations updates. And other part of the leveraging is the online appointment system. So citizen, this online appointment system is very familiar For example, is the for the DFA or the Department of Foreign Affairs for the passport online appointment system. We have the PRC or the Professional Regulations Commission. You have any transactions in their office, so you can access or the citizens can are given the ability to book appointments for government services such as this what I have said, passport application in the LTO or Land Transportation Office, the renewal of driver's license, and other visits to the government agency. So for you uh, to be have a hassle-free uh, appointment, so much better mag-online appointment system before you will go to the office or national government agency. So this results in the shorter wait times and improve overall service efficiencies. So sana lahat ng government agency will use this online appointment system because sa based on my experience na napansin ko not all at present hindi pa lahat ng government offering this online appointment system. So the impact of e-payment system. So first is increase accessibility. So the individual or this technology perform financial transaction using these mobile phones or uh, laptop. So this is a simple and easy available option to perform financial transactions because of the e-payment technologies. So part of one best example for this e-payment technologies is the GCash. So we all know sa GCash, they have their offer their part of their sa system nila or sa apps is the government which in which lahat ng mga government na they have their MOU or MOA. So they partnered with different national government agencies, local government units, and other part of the GOCCs also. So they are offering for this uh, e-payment technologies using the GCash. We have also the PMaya. You have the Bayad Center and different e-payment stores nationwide. So other is impact of this e-payment system is to reduce transaction cost. So this electronic payment is uh, if we will compare it or in comparison to the more traditional transactions based on the cash gaya ng dati, so yung mataas ang pila, mahaba ang pila, tsaka it's time consuming. So one of the important impact is it reduce the transactional cost and typically have reduced the time and it is more also affordable and simple those lesser income to engage in financial activities without uh, getting or uh, will be using their sum of money for the transactions but like sa GCash mostly ang payment nila is 15 pesos per transactions. And other the impact of e-payment system is the overcoming the geographic barriers. So this is one of the important, as we all know that the Philippines is are we have composed of different archipelagos. So we have three different islands, malalayo. So this impact of e-payment system is overcoming geographic barriers. So this system have the potential to break down the geographical boundaries by making it easier to do business across different distances, and it is helpful in locations that are hard to reach or underserved. So kahit saan ka sa Pilipinas, basta may signal, may internet connection, you can access the different e-payment system like GCash, PayMaya, and other e-payment system. And next is empowering individuals and small businesses. So part of this empowering individual is empowering the unbanked. So this electronic payment system make it possible for people who do not have bank accounts to access and make use of more formal financial services. So that, like what I have said, the GCash, when no need na magkaroon ng bank accounts, ang kailangan lang is your cellphone number, GCash and other e-payment system. So hindi mo na kailangan pumila pa sa bangko at mag-apply for bank account because di man natin kuan, but applying a bank account is minsan is hassle and maraming requirements, but using this e-payment system, so kailangan mo lang cellphone number and personal information, so the citizenry or the citizens can access or make use of the formal financial services. These mobile wallets and prepaid cards and other options of individual who do not have bank account to use and order or to receive payments, make purchases, and engage in other financial activities. And part of the empowering individuals is the financial services for small businesses, so small firms, and have the access to digital payment, those things to e-payment system, which more efficient to receive payments, pay their suppliers, and manage their finances overall. So these financial services, this e-payment system powering individuals and the small businesses, which composes the most number of percentage, the SMEs or the small business entrepreneurs in our country. So they are sila yung mga naka maganda yung impact ng e-payment system sa mga small businesses, and uh, they can pay their suppliers easily and manage their finances overall. And other is the security and transparency for the empowering individuals. So the transactions conducted using this e-payment system are both safe and transparent. So sometimes or meron din mga limitations, and like for example minsan medyo kuan yung GCash, may minsan sa news na parang may mali na transfer ng mga amount and bank to bank and other GCash transactions, but the GCash or powered by Fintech, uh, which is siya yung pinakasikat, GCash dito sa Pilipinas, is improving their system also, their security and their IT cyber security. So next, for after the empowering individuals is the advancing financial inclusions. So by this e-governance services for the citizens is part of advancing financial inclusions. First is the credit access. So data from e-payments can be used to evaluate a person's company's credit worthiness, even when that person or company does not have traditional credit history. So also the data of the e-payment system can be used for the SMEs to have their loan for their additional capital for their businesses, and this can create new opportunities for gaining access to credit and loans, which in turn can stimulate economic growth. And other part of the advancing financial inclusions is the government disbursement. So e-payment system are increasingly used by governments to disburse social welfare payments, pension, and other beneficiaries' accounts. So example for this is the SSS or Social Security Service system. So every citizen can pay their payments for their contributions for SSS, pensions, and other beneficiaries' accounts using the e-payment system, the GCash and other uh, uh, e-payment offering their services for the payment of the social security system and other and additional for advancing financial inclusions is the financial education. So this is one of the important. So this financial education, people are more likely with conventional financial services as a result of their increased use of electronic payment method. So because of this financial education, financial literacy as well as their awareness of various financial products and services may improve. And part of these e-payment systems are all things considered tools for the advancement of financial inclusion, the promotion of economic growth, and the reduction of poverty. So by doing this, by granting access to the official financial system to the populations, they had previously been underserved, and this will be vital to solve difficulties connected to the digital literacy. And next is the enhancing transparency and accountability through e-governance. So incorporating digital technologies into government operations promote transparency and accountability. And other e-governance, it will also disseminate of information and empower citizens to hold the government accountable. That's what we discussed in the previous reports. This government e-governance is one of the important target of the government is the transparency, enhancing the transparency and accountability to avoid red tapes or the potong, to avoid other uh, corruptions by using this e-governance or the other payment system or e-payment system, so that it will enhance also the transparency and accountability. Kasi if you will pay through online, so di madadaya yun. And it's a real time and updated talaga yung mga transactions, payment transactions in terms of monetary transactions by the government and its populations. So now I will discuss for the tools for transparency and participation. So the first for tools for transparency and participation is the open data information sharing. So this e-governance platform permits the government agency to publish and distribute the data and information to the general public. Open data portals provide citizens with access to data sets, budgets, and other vital information. So if na-try na ninyo mag-open ng government, any government national agencies websites or LGUs, mostly national government agencies and also GOCCs, sa pinakababa, they have this parang pwede mong i-click yung open data. So if na-click mo yung open data na maliit na parang may maliit na tool doon sa baba na any government national agencies website. So i-redirect ka nung link sa the open data or doon sa national government, which is you can access the data sets, budgets, and other important informations. So this is for the monitoring of the national government activities in different national agencies. And other tools for transparency is the real-time updates and notifications. So if na-try na nyo magbayad or have government transactions in national government agencies, payment system, so may matatanggap ka na text notifying na napasok na yung one mo, yung payment, and also real-time updates. Di gaya noon na hindi pa electronic payment system na ilang araw pa kasi dadaan pa sa ilang ledger or manual accounting, but in real-time updates sa e-government this e-payment system. So this will be a good tool for transparency and participation. And other is the online public consultations. So these e-government platforms consultation regarding proposed policies, indicatives, and regulations regarding proposed policies, initiatives, and regulations. So it is now open for all the citizens to provide feedbacks, remarks, and suggestions. Mostly, yung mga government agencies, they have their Google Forms for your feedback in their services, remarks, or any suggestions for their improvement of their services. And next is the last is the strengthening governance practices. So these digital governance dashboards, these governments able to develop digital governance dashboard that provide KPI or key performance indicators and these metrics for a variety of government services and indicatives. These dashboards provide a clear picture of government performance and complements. Makita mo itong digital governance dashboard sa once you will open the one of the government or national government agencies website, meron silang part doon for their key performance indicators and other metrics. So everyone can provide their feedbacks, remarks, and also makita mo yung paano yung isang national government agency, paano yung services, their performance, and also if may mga compliments from the citizen. And other is the e-payment system and financial inclusion. So this is strengthening the governance practice. So especially in the areas with traditional banking services. And the good news for this proliferation of this e-payment system has been shown to that important factor in spreading the financial inclusion. So when we say financial inclusions, lahat na makaka-access, lahat na even whatever the status, kahit sino pwede maka-access in this e-payment system, and this term is the financial, we call financial inclusion. So walang iwanan sa matatag na bayan as what other national government agencies mantra is this is one important financial inclusion. And the other is the e-procurement and tendering. So this electronic procurement solution was this is discussed by Sir Roland and also by Doc Melo, the PhilGIPS or the Philippine e-procurement system. So this procurement solution increase the openness and transparency of the government purchasing procedures. So doon lahat ng mga bids, awards, and other government government electronic procurement ay nandun sa PhilGIPS. So this PhilGIPS the government also improving the PhilGIPS. Sa ngayon parang may bago sila for PhilGIPS, and this minimize the potential for bribery and ensure fair competitions among supplier. So pwede if you if a supplier sa pag access ng PhilGIPS, if pag-member ng PhilGIPS is first is I think red status, then pwede ka maging premium. So this allow the competition of among suppliers, allow open bidding, publishing information about the tenders, and monitoring procurement decision. And this online financial reporting, So it is possible to report financial information online, gives the public access to financial statements and budgets maintained by the government. So this is part of the open data and information sharing. So conclusion, so the digital platforms revolutionize the government service delivery by enhancing the accessibility, citizens' engagement, and efficiency. Embracing these technologies ensures better governance and empowers citizens with seamless access to essential services and informations. E-governance programs enhance transparency and accountability in governance by empowering citizens, promoting participatory decision-making through open data sharing, real-time updates, and digital tools for accountability. Governments can build trust with residents and deliver services more effectively. And that will be all. Thank you for listening. Thank you. Thank you, Doc.
Okay, so thank you so much. No? The e-governance framework emphasizes the importance of data-driven decision-making and performance monitoring. Because by collecting and analyzing data on service delivery processes, our governments can identify bottlenecks, no, measure service performance, and make informed decisions to optimize service delivery. This data-driven approach enable governments to continuously improve the quality and efficiency of public service, leading to greater citizen satisfaction and trust in government institution. So the framework, no, as I mentioned earlier, no, emphasizes some important capacity, of course, and other concern. And the e-governance framework emphasizes the importance of capacity building and stakeholder engagement to ensure the successful implementation and sustainability of e-governance initiative. So government invests in training programs to equip public officials with the necessary digital skills and knowledge to effectively manage e-governance systems. No? Stakeholders, including government agencies, private sector partners, civil society organizations, and citizens are actively engaged throughout the design, implementation, and evaluation of e-governance project to ensure their relevance, effectiveness, and sustainability. So the e-governance framework for public service delivery represent a transformative approach, no, to governance that harness the power of technology to enhance service delivery and promote transparency and empower citizens in their interactions with the government. Okay? So I think that's